So next, we're going to cover how you process data on AWS and the different services that are provided for you to do this, because in many cases, if we're looking at how organizations analyze their data, there's a step for converting and preparing data before you actually analyze it, and that's what we're covering here. And we're really going to be talking about three different services. First of all, AWS Glue. Now, this is a managed extract, transform, and load service. Now, we're going to be talking about extract, transform, and load quite a bit. And so we'll call this ETL within this clip. But let's talk about what that means. Usually it means you have data stored somewhere. You need to pull it out of where it's stored. That's the extract. Then you have transform. This means you're going to do things like normalizing the data. Maybe you need to change the way that phone numbers are represented or group things together or change the structure of the data. You need to do something to change it. Then we have the load step. This means you're going to put it in a new location so that you can then go in and analyze it. So that's what we mean by extract, transform, and load. Then we have another service, and that is Amazon EMR, or Elastic MapReduce. And this is a big data cloud processing suite, and it uses popular tools, and we'll cover what those tools are in just a minute. And then finally, we have AWS Data Pipeline. And this is a workflow orchestration service across separate AWS services. So if you want to manage the process of how data gets from point A to point B, especially if it needs to go through a specific type of AWS service in the middle, this is where Data Pipeline can be very, very helpful. So let's look at each of these in turn. First of all, we have AWS Glue. And as mentioned, it is a fully managed ETL service on AWS. It also supports Amazon RDS, DynamoDB, Redshift, and S3. So if you're looking for the AWS services that it integrates with, those are the ones that you can look at. Now, it supports a serverless model of execution. That means you don't need to spin up specific servers or specific instances. You just use the service and it handles the management of the infrastructure for you. Now, next, we're going to talk about Amazon EMR, or Elastic MapReduce. And what this does is this enables big data processing on Amazon EC2 and S3. And it supports popular open source frameworks and tools, which we will cover in just a bit. And it operates in a clustered environment without additional configuration, and this is really one of the benefits of the service. If you were choosing to do this on your own, just directly in Amazon EC2, there would be a lot of configuration that would go with getting these tools set up and then having them operate in environments where you have more than one server where they all need to work together, and this is just included as a part of the service. And because it includes these popular tools and it has this clustered environment, it supports many different big data use cases. So let's look at the different frameworks that are supported. First of all, we have Apache Spark, Apache Flink, we have Apache Hive, Apache Hudi, we have HBase, and Presto. So if you look around in terms of what people are doing within big data, generally these are the tools that are involved. So EMR gives you the ability to take advantage of these tools without having to spend a massive amount of time configuring them. Next, we have Data Pipeline. And Data Pipeline is also a managed ETL service on AWS. Now, it does manage the data workflow through AWS services, and it supports S3, EMR, Redshift, DynamoDB, and RDS. And there also are ways with this where it can integrate your on-premise data stores within your data pipeline.